Hi, if you'd like to join me to explore the throat chakra, here's our Inkblot inspired by the space, soulful space if you want to take a screenshot, so you can scry in your own time and terms for shapes, symbols, or spirits that speak. Thank you for joining me. I'm Steph. I will add on the spirit box to give any iScry spirits a voice. Shout outs to you that may relate or resonate. I'll add on tarot and oracle along the way. So thank you very much for being my muse. Thank you for holding space for me to share my insights and allowing me to be a guest in the throat chakra atmosphere. I'm going to take a moment to release the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. Let's go. When my eyes were closed, I saw I think it's like a great white, no, it's a whale, but it's like the famous whale from like here in Canada's marine land. Whether or not I agree or disagree, but so it's like black, like Free Willy whale. So I'm seeing that like a Free Willy, and it was going through a silver white light hoop. I'll add on the spirit box in just a moment. Let me get my bearings here, because I'm seeing something like, see this face here with me? I don't know if it's a... Okay, so the word spirit speaker is coming out. Cosmic. And sorry, we said Free Willy, right? Whatever kind of whale that is. Sorry, my logical mind doesn't always work in the liminal space. Let's see where this takes us. Empathically explore right in the throat chakra. There's something opening up. You know what I'm seeing? It's like, you know, when you sit up straight and your heart expands, and you're like, hey, like a particular presence. But I'm seeing that like right in the throat. Right in the throat. And then even after that, there's... Maybe it's like speaking from the heart. Speaking from the heart. We'll add on the spirit box. Go ahead. We're here for the throat chakra atmosphere, the soulful space. I'm also seeing somebody might have felt frozen lately. If there's any sort of because I'm seeing an icicle.
Flame.
And
Jonathan.
It's kind of like freezing me, but it's being protected. It's being protected with compassion. If there's anything that's holding you back or like freezing, like you want to say something, but it's not there. Like it's there, but I can't say it because it's frozen. Is it frozen in time? Frozen in time, like it almost makes me feel like, if I may, like something I wish I would have said to somebody I love that passed, or to close out with somebody that is still amongst the living, and I wish I would have said something, and that is frozen.
Door.
It feels like I'm leading up to that, but it's a vast space up there. I'm seeing, you know, when people make costumes and like somebody's the butt and somebody's the head, but it's like this big animal or whatever it is that they're dressed up as. It's almost like I'm seeing two different throats, like an inner voice and an external voice. And I don't know if they're like, one part is like, I'm tired of being the butt, maybe the butt of jokes or something like that, or I'm going to keep going here and see how we can help this out. If anyone's working on their throat chakra to open that up, to melt what may be frozen time. It's like a frequency frozen. It's not a regret per se, but it could easily be categorized there. You know what I'm saying? I could easily say it's a regret, how it's feeling. But it's more... Okay, this card was missing a card. My mom made me a copy of it. the shapeshifter. Yeah, and see how, okay, like insert this in there, like all the hues, like whirling around, like air and water, icicles
Deep.
and fire. Yeah, it is deep. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm going to turn up one more notch. And it's like seeing the icicle melt.
Sure. Hello. Eat.
And maybe that's something that's helpful to focus on, is if there's something that you understand what that is,
yourself.
Imagine that it is an icicle, and the warmth of your heart to help melt it drip by drip. I saw you flip over the Queen of Laughter. Humor might help here. Humor, laughing, joking, playing in the throat chakra space to help break it up. It's almost like I can see, okay, so the warmth of your heart, like this fire, the hearth is warming up. Ba, 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 ba. You know how people, before they're going to start singing, they might do like some sort of vocal exercises? I don't know. Anyway.
Laughing.
Yeah, we're all laughing at that. And it's slowly, that heat starts to slowly melt that icicle or ice cube. But I'm seeing it as an icicle. Somebody might have even said something to you, or if you're in this aura with me, that kind of like just was like an ice sharp, and it stuck with you for one reason or another, and it could be hindering a particular confidence or a willingness to express oneself for, but that person said yesterday, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever. But this heart warmth is melting it. And as I'm melting it, and maybe I'm doing things that are fun or interacting with people that make me laugh and joyful, and then it breaks up the pieces of this icicle to become easier for the heart hearth to melt them. Yes. And realize your gift. Somebody really might be, it's coming into that gift of presence, and how do I say this? I'm presenting myself, but through my voice. Like, hi, I'm here. And it's okay to be shy. It's not about the benefits or the pros and cons of being shy. But even when speaking to yourself, inner, outer, I am here. I am here. With that stance. Maybe this is in relation to speaking with spirit. If you're very empathically, I should say very, but if you're empathically inclined in your communication, the song, oh my goodness, okay. The song has come through. Again, look at all those blue hues. There we go. What's behind the song is the rocks and temptation. And this is in that melting. There's some sort of guarding, and I think it might be an aspect of oneself that's guarding something.
Keep recording.
That, I'm going to say, hit the root of oneself, symbolically speaking, right? Like, it just affected you, and it's like there's a guard of sorts that is protective now, and it could be holding back something that you're saying, or you want to say. Maybe you feel you can't say. Can I say that? I don't want to hurt other people's feelings because I know what that's like. But does that also mean I can't express my feelings if it's going to be received that way? It's almost like this conversation is going on and on and on, and then I get frozen, I don't say anything. The temptation is also behind it. And it's almost in that conversation of being tempted. Do I communicate? Do I not? Do I sing my song, or do I whisper my song? I'm also hearing that there might be a different way to work with the throat chakra if, the vocal cords or, inner or outer voice, you're still melting whatever ice cubes may be happening and going through that exercise of imagining like the slow melt. the cooling sensation actually feels nice on what the rocks is coming through is like raw, like just something along that lines. Could also be like gossip around you if you're resonating with that. There could be gossip and you're tempted to like join in on the fun, and you're like, but it's not actually fun. It's not a high frequency fun. And what feels like I'm in here is I'm looking
Rest
for
in peace.
high frequency fun. Yeah, and you walk away from,
Below.
like, you're not tempted by those things. Keep going here. The skull thing looking at me feels like it's almost like a Terminator of ice. I don't know much about the Terminator movies. I think it's Terminator. Or maybe it's just in that arena. Strong though. Like if anyone's like to be reminded of the strength of the throat, to be reminded of the strength of one's voice. And it can, even if it, you're tempted to lower your vibration, but it's maybe somebody or something within the self is shut down a little bit. And it's like reopening. Yeah, wide open. Reopening that throat. Even if you sing and you sing horribly like me. Horribly by compare. Okay, anyway. But to still sing, to break up the vibrations. We have here metamorphosis and cleaning house. Maybe start singing as well. Melt the ice cubes. Feel that nice cooling on the rawness of what you've been holding back. What felt very, very real at some point in time. Look at even my voice is getting all for one reason or another, and that's fine. Clear it out. I'm going to clean the house. I'm going to clear my throat and begin to sing. Whether that's just speaking, saying hello, being kind, or if somebody's trying to throw, monkey poop at me and say, shut me down, that's how it's making me feel. And just say, I respect that. I don't like it. But that's also not where I want to, it's not the conversations I want to hold space for, but I respect them, but we're going about things differently, and that's okay. Does that make sense? Because it's like there's this other set of eyes that is within the throat that is, oh, okay. Those, I don't know if they're pliers or pinchers. Okay, but it's a spade anyway, so I'm seeing a spade, the shape of a spade. But there's also this kind of like hand tool I'm seeing, and I don't know if it's like for jewelry making and or for like splicing wires, but it can also cut them really cleanly. So I'm seeing something along that lines. And here we have Stormfield's Golden Palace and Talisman. Okay, I'm gonna share these with you.
46.
The Stormfield, it's like knowing when those conversations, or even within the self, or opinions, whatever it may be, are stormy and they're held. It's like staying in the storm.
What should I do?
And then someone goes, I can use the storm to help clear out now. Maybe air things out. Not to hurt, not to, project out, but just to simply say, I need to close this out, and I'm sorry you feel that way, or I admit my interactions in this, but I need to clear this out even for myself. And maybe prayer or anything along that lines to admit, become aware, acknowledge, and use that tornado storm to your advantage to clean house and say, okay, instead of giving it all this momentum for destruction and closing me down, maybe even putting me back in the closet for some reason. Maybe, you're worried about coming out or other people's opinions. And I heard like something really good the other day. I've heard it before, but it reminded me of like the
Aaron. Rich.
you know, like in your 20s, you're worried about what everyone thinks, and in your 30s,
Angel.
I don't know, by the time you're like 50 or 60, you're like, you realize nobody ever really cared.
Horror.
And it's almost like jumping through that, not to dismiss, but so,
Michael.
you know, I can do whatever I want with no repercussions because nobody really cares, but just acknowledging you're the one who upholds the care of your conversation, your voice, your frequency, you know, and if it triggers others, it triggers others. You're also triggered, you know, we can all be triggered by things. And it leads me into this golden palace with this talisman. And the golden palace is making me feel like this ghost that's trying to come forward ends up coming forward freed. The skeleton in my closet is freed. So there could be a secret somewhere around the voice. And when I put in this talisman, like the flowiness of, I don't know, is it like her cloth or her blanket, whatever the case may be, but it leads up, right? And she has like this orb of her voice, and if I follow this path, and it leads up and away. I just heard up and away. There is a little creature with her. See, my throat is like super something, but that's okay. We're here. That's what we're here for. I don't know if it's a lizard or I don't know what it is, but that's okay. There's balance and respecting. Yeah. We're all helping. Okay, I'm going to keep going here. I'm actually going to flip it. Thank you for joining me.
Crazy.
Yeah, this is crazy. I love it, though. I love it. Hopefully you are enjoying it as well.
Uncomfortable.
It can be uncomfortable, but we're here together. Safe space to kind of explore the throat chakra. Six of Pentacles, Lord of Material Success. I'm seeing a woman. Ace of Pentacles, Powers of Earth, material success in Earth. There's like a rising up. I dare say if you're resonating or feel that you're very empathically inclined in expression, that maybe writing, if speaking isn't your way, I don't know if I actually ever finished that thought. You know, maybe speaking it, maybe writing it down, starting with personal prayers or talking in the car. La 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 la. Sing in the shower. You know, like those safe spaces, right? That, oh yeah. And then like this little blue fairy comes out. What is that? From what show? Daughter of the Lord of Truth is coming out. She's from a show. I think it's Once Upon a Time. And she's like a blue fairy. Yeah, something about blue fairies.
16.
And putting your pants on. Like pants. Like I'm seeing pants. And it reminds me of the Tragically Hip. I think his name was Gord. And he always used to wear a scarf around his neck to keep his vocal cords warm. It was like some trick that he had learned or was taught. Death came in the reverse.
Is this yours?
Is this yours? I don't know. Is it yours?
Satan.
Yeah. Death in the reverse. It's transformation.
Sarah.
There is a new transformation trying to come forward, but like that Terminator thing I was saying before is kind of like that skeleton in there. I don't know if there's a resistance. Do you know what it is? Maybe you have to keep something quiet. And that's why it keeps like drawing me back to, you know, as much as it's la 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 and releasing anything in the throat. There's also been this like subtlety of keeping things quiet, keeping things to yourself, not necessarily exposing all of your expressions so that they can be used if anyone of ill intent that can create storms. So I want to acknowledge this polarity that is bountiful to respect both ways, the balance of it all. Where was she? On Talisman, maybe there's a crystal or something along the lines that you'll find of value because she is actually standing on balance, the yin yang symbol. To know when to share and to know when you're not. Like, even if maybe you have a therapist or a confidant that you speak to and you
Rest in
can
peace.
release things to. And then there's other times that people are just nosy or curious, or they feel entitled to know, and you're like, but it's what's the value in that? You know, are they a safe space? Are they a safe space? And I think at some point in time, somebody claimed to be a safe space and they weren't. Lord of Flame and Lightning,
Bright.
with Daughter of the Flaming Sword, Fortitude. Sorry, these came up this way. This is all that melting. Grab.
Silly.
I feel like saying, don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. Nor, this is going to sound weird. Like, don't beat the growl out of yourself. You know what I mean? That Terminator. For passivity to take over as the totality. Like, to really honor that balance, to say, I can be a really pleasant, passive, and powerful person with a growl. With a growl. This is that male and even male and female aspects or archetypes of your energy. Could also be a relationship if you're going through that. Okay, sorry, I'm coming back to the Inkblot. I feel like I got really caught up in that. Because something's trying to change not change, but transform.
Make a noise.
Okay, and like pulling up your pants. Sorry if I never finished that thought either. Like pulling up your pants, or pulling up your socks, if I may. We have here Scrying. This is what we're doing. Awesome. Following your intuition when something doesn't feel right to say something. Skeleton, Strength. There's that skeleton again. It's been there right from the beginning. This death and transformation. Strength. There's a lot of strength in your voice. There is the clearing and cleaning house. Even if this is to first, always bring it home, to clean up the thoughts, the way you speak to oneself, the way maybe within the male and female aspects, the intellect and intuition. I'm seeing a key. It's not like a typical key, werewolf, exploring your wildness. There's that growl. The growl can serve. The heat can serve. Melt the ice. Expose something in yourself. Maybe you really can sing. Maybe you really, really can sing. Sorry, this key is something else. It's a butterfly key. Thank you. Butterfly key. Joy is coming through. It's almost like it looks like one of those nuts and bolts, but I don't know what it's called, but I'm going to call it a butterfly key. And it's like right up here, and it's opening up.
Play with me.
You always have discernment kicking around a little bit, right? You're like, okay. I don't know. It just feels like there's a lot of energy in the throat. Compassion. Compassion might be that butterfly key. Okay, sorry. And this is the fun thing with the throat. Like, it's kind of all over the place a little bit, right? You're like, well, I have this thought, good, bad, da. But we're in a safe space, and I can talk it out. I can say it. I can be, it's like talking to, well, for me, it's like, my sisters or something. And you can say things that they're not held or going to be held against you, but they just give you a nice channel to clear the air so you can hear yourself. They can say, is this what you meant by that? This is what I hear. Or they can ask questions.
Brandy.
Maybe have that person. So compassion and well-being, it's making me feel like in this kindness of this interesting that you said Asia, because it does look like some sort of Asian temple character. So thank you. Maybe that resonates with somebody. Compassion might be that butterfly key, and it has said rest in peace many times. Let things go. I wish I would have said this. I wish that wasn't have said to me. I can't believe that was said to me. Or I can't believe I said that.
Goodbye.
You know what I mean? Like, get to the cellar of your of your throat. Truth and passions. There's that heat. I don't know if the lighting will pick it up.
Jonathan.
That heart heat. Jonathan has come through a few times as well. What I'm hearing is like the heart heat of what's passionate, even if it provokes you. Your heart is the mirror that brings it up, and it's reflective. So I keep seeing somebody in this moment of sitting a very particular way, coming all the way back to the gift, the way his mudras or hands are, in any sort of way that feels good, and just pausing in reflection, or preparing to speak to oneself, to speak to your boss, to speak to your partner, and holding what is your truth as a gift, right? And holding space for someone else's truth to also be said in reflection of, even if it's in a reactionary truth, and you're like, I can see that's a reaction versus, but they're still expressing something. And there's just this, as I'm holding this space, it's like I can see that mirror that is drawing the heat up more and more, and I can remember the warmth of my heart. It's like warming. And then I can even get like specific, like a magnifying glass, and I can like pivot things if I feel like, okay,
talk to me.
I'm trying to release something, melt that icicle away a little quicker. I'm really focused on this for healing this part of myself. That's what that feels like. Okay. I'm going to get ready to close out here. Thank you so much for joining me in this throat chakra exploration. I'm going to add on some last minute cards here. Speak your truth to yourself first. Clarify it out, talk to yourself kindly and compassionately. That's so lovely. Do we have anything else? Okay. Unseen. And last but not least, thank you to the Ice Sky Spirits for stepping forward. Okay, so this came face down, unseen. We'll start in here. So we have energy healing and drink more water.
Help me.
And maybe you want
Behind
that.
You.
Yeah, we'll work with you, love, in just a second. We have Inkblots for spirit sessions.
Film. What is your name?
And then we have follow your heart and nurture yourself. All very grounded, right, in that earthly expression. In that earthly expression. Following your heart, nurturing what you really, really care about. They both have their hands on their high heart. Energy healing with more water. There's even something about, like, as these icicles melt, right, that and releasing that water through the body, and it feels very cooling and refreshing almost, and letting that
Scream.
Be refreshing, actually, is what I hear. Letting it be refreshing. Clear and shield your energy, perhaps as you're going through your throat chakra, your energy of it. To be mindful as well as you are melting, warming, all that, fire and water. To also protect it comes into that safe space feeling for me. Make sure, to the best of your ability, make sure you're in safe spaces and amongst space company, sacred company. If, whether that's a therapy yours? Or you're talking to yourself or a friend or a sister or a parent,
brother.
Just because of someone's position doesn't, it's not automatic that they are entitled to understand, but there is a respect that perhaps, you're also allowed to protect yourself while you're moving through this. And then last but not least, what we didn't see that was slightly hidden is see the other person's point of view. And that's always a really nice reminder, right? As much as we can be focused, not to be so focused that, it's my truth. This is how I'm feeling. This is what I
I'm
see.
trying.
And those are all great things. But to also hold
Vengeful.
space for a
I'm
collaborative
trying.
conversation, an exchange, and to see the other person's point of view, but not necessarily adopt it, not necessarily take it on as an icicle or an obstacle for
Talk to
ourselves.
me.
And if we sense that's how it's coming through, others trying to project obstacles and projectiles to close us down or shut us down, we can see that. But we don't need to react, and we don't necessarily need to respond in that very moment to lower the vibration. But I saw that. I see that now. I see that now. I'm going to take a moment to discern and decide how I'm going to respectfully, per my energy, per my authenticity, respond, if at all, whatever the case may be, to maintain that higher vibration and not get more frozenness. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. We have the one here on the bottom stepping forward. You are the
Watching.
one that can do it. You are your all. And know that you have lots of support around you as you're working through this. Lots of blue fairies, lots of keys, and lots of different eyes when I was even in that spade feeling,
Louder.
You have the ability to dig yourself in and out of holes simply by the voices we speak to ourselves. The power on both sides of the spectrum. I got the power. All right, I'm going to let you go. I've rambled on way too long here. And until next time, thank you so much for scrying with me. We'll be at some point in time moving up to the third eye in the crown.
Medicine.
And maybe some shadow aspects of the energy centers.
Devil.
But until then, yes, we will get there. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.